everybody, it's Kira and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about my favorite books from 2019. These are all books that I read for the first time in 2019, and I have some sequels, one series, because I can't decide which book is my favorite. And these are not in any particular order. They're mostly in the order that I ended up reading them throughout the year, but I don't really have a specific order. And I'm really bad at articulating my thoughts sometimes, so you'll probably hear the words "it's amazing," "it's awesome," "it's wonderful," that kind of thing so many times throughout this video, so I apologize in advance, but I'm very bad with words sometimes, and so it's hard for me to express my excitement about certain books sometimes. So, without further ado, here are my favorite books from 2019. First up, I have An Echo in the Darkness by Francine Rivers. This is a sequel to A Voice in the Wind, and it finishes the story of Hadassah and what happens to her after the cliffhanger ending at the end of book 1. I don't like this cover. I'm hoping to get a different cover of this eventually, but this book was so amazing. It was much more focused on, is it Mark? I'm forgetting names. I forget names very easily. This was much more focused on Marcus's family than on Hadassah herself. The first book, I think, focused a lot more on Hadassah, and the sequel focused more on Marcus's family, as they try to figure out just how to cope with everything that's going on, and Marcus tries to figure out how to live without Hadassah and if he can find faith even without her, as well as her turning him down his offer of marriage. The ending was so sweet and beautiful, and it made me cry tears of joy because it was just so amazing. There's a lot in this book that happens, and there's a lot of topics that are discussed throughout this book that are relevant to today's society, especially the topic of abortion comes up a little bit in this book. And it's just an amazing sequel. If you haven't read A Voice in the Wind and An Echo in the Darkness, please do. They are amazing, incredible, wonderful books. I read the first one at the very, very end of 2018, so that won't count, but that would be on my favorites list too. An Echo in the Darkness was just an amazing finish to Hadassah's story, and Hadassah and Marcus's story, and being able to see the characters change as time goes on is just really incredible. So it was just very well written, and I loved it so much. Next up, we have The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This book destroyed me. I sobbed so hard in this book, but it was incredible. So it's the story of two French sisters living during World War II. One of them becomes involved in helping the resistance, so she helps downed English pilots find their way back to the border of and get back into flying, and the other one is has a young daughter, I believe, and so she ends up being billeted with a Nazi officer. It was really cool. It's confusing in the beginning trying to figure out who is who and what's going on, but once you get into it, it is incredible. It was a beautiful story of two sisters who are trying to figure out their own lives living in this awful time. And the ending, again, I cried so hard, it hurt my heart, but it was so well done and super well written. And I've heard that there's a movie possibly being made off of this book, and I'm very excited for that to happen. It's a really, really incredible story, very well written, beautiful language, just incredible. I loved it so much. If you haven't read this, please do that. Next up, I'm going to talk about Liza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. Now this one is more like, I think it's lower, it would be lower on my list just because I've forgotten some of what happens, but it was a beautiful love letter to fandoms and being involved in fan culture. And so the story is about this girl named Liza who creates this webcomic called Monstrous Sea, but it's anonymous, nobody knows that it's her. And so then there's a boy that moves to her school, and she finds out he's like the most well-known fan fiction writer of her webcomic. And so she knows his identity, but he doesn't know her identity. And it was really cool to see, and I don't remember his name, but to see the boy be so involved in fan culture. He invites Eliza out on Halloween to celebrate with his friends. I think it's Halloween. There's like a library event that they go to that has like cosplays and things. And it was really fun to see like fandom represented in such a positive light and in a realistic light too, I think, because there isn't always good that comes out of fandom. There is a lot of bad as well, but it was really cool to see their relationship change as the story went on. Liza also deals with anxiety, and so it was really cool to see her dealing with that involved with fandom, and like how having this webcomic like was able to help her but also hurt her in some ways. And like, I don't know, it was just super cool. It was very well written. It was just really amazing book, and I loved having like a book about fandom for fandom lovers, and it didn't really get like too cheesy or anything, so it was a lot of fun and I really enjoyed it. Similarly, on the topic of like fandom and things, I have Again But Better by Christine Riccio. This book was really fun and came at the perfect time because I read it right before I left for Oxford for my study abroad trip. And it's about a girl who actually is the same age as me. She was a junior in college. And I was about to be a junior in college when I read it this summer. And going on a study abroad trip. She went to London, the main character whose name I'm forgetting, went to London. I went to Oxford, so a little bit differently, but she gets a chance to do the whole trip over again. It was more so fun in the fact of like the story was interesting, and reading about like having a study abroad trip was really cool too, as I was getting prepared to go on my own study abroad trip. I loved all of the different fandom references. Like the main character is really into Lost, so there was some Lost references, which was super fun. It was just super, like a super fun, enjoyable read, and came right at the perfect time for me. Next up, I have Six of Crows, and we'll include Crooked Kingdom in this too, but I only own Six of Crows. This duology destroyed me, killed me dead. I don't even know what to say. It is incredible. So it's a heist novel with 6 teenagers who are all from different countries and different magic abilities, and it's incredible. I love these characters so freaking much. I am so excited for the TV show. Kaz and Inej kill me. I love them so much. Having Jesper, he's so funny. Wylan is amazing. Nina and Matthias, or Matthias, however you say his name, they also killed me. The thing that happens in Crooked Kingdom absolutely killed me. I don't even know what else to say about these books. They are just so incredible and found their way in my heart very quickly, and they will almost certainly be on like my forever favorites list. Hi there, so I'm just interjecting here because I found that when I was editing, I really didn't like how I was describing this next book on the list. I just felt I wasn't very eloquent, so that's why I'm here now as I'm quickly refilling this little segment. And the book that I want to talk about is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal. This is a really amazing fantasy book, and it follows a whole cast of characters, but it's told in dual perspective by the 2 main characters. So one of the characters is Zafira, and she dresses up as a man to be the hunter, and she goes into this like dark magic forest to be able to provide food for her family and for the village. And so everybody knows her as the hunter, but she technically is the huntress because she is a woman. She has the opportunity and is given this like quest to go find a magical artifact and bring magic back to her world, which has been without magic for a really long time. And our other main character is named Nasir, and he is the son of like the sultan, or like the ruler of their magical world that they live in, and he is kind of this executioner for his father. He just goes and does what his father commands, which is usually to kill people, usually like political opponents that his father doesn't like. His father tells him to join the hunter on this quest to bring magic back and to kill the hunter and not bring magic, and to bring the magical artifact to him instead. And it is a beautifully written story. There's a whole other cast of characters. You get characters from the other different lands within their world as well, which creates kind of a found family, which was super fun. The romance in this book is real good. It's very like forbidden romance with an angsty in that sense, and it is just like real good. The magic system is really interesting because there is no magic system at the moment, but you find out a little bit more about how magic has kind of survived since being taken away years ago. And it's a wonderful book. I'm super, super excited for the sequel to come out this year. It was just an amazing book. I read it near the end of last year, and it quickly became one of my favorites. I encourage everybody to go read it. It's amazing. And then my final book series that I have on my 2019 favorites list is the Raven Cycle series by Maggie Stiefvater. I read these for the first time this year and fell in love with them. I can't really choose a favorite. They're all really good. Blue Lily Lily Blue, I think, was kind of like the tiniest bit above the rest, but I even hesitate saying that because they're all so amazing. The friendship group within this story is really, really amazing and well written, and I haven't really read too many books that feature that close-knit of friendship group. All the different magic things were so cool. I wish there was a little bit more that was explained, but it's also really interesting that she leaves a lot unexplained at the same time. Having the search for Glendower was just really cool. Gansey and Blue are my favorite. I love them so much. I love too that that their group of friends is called the Gangsy. That cracks me up. I just think it's very funny. But I fell in love with these books, and I just love the world that was created within these books, and really the friendship between the different characters was so cool to read about and so inspiring and just really fun. It just made me very happy. So there you have it. Those are all of my favorite books from 2019. I'm hoping that 2020 will be an amazing reading year as well, and then I'll find a lot more new favorites. So if you have read any of these books and want to talk about them, please comment down below. I would love to talk about any of these. Could talk for all day about any of them. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to follow me on social media or chat there, we can totally do that too. All those links are in the description as always. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!